Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Years of 8, trying to turn it communist in Democracy 3 in our last year of the first term in office. So this is going to be an election year. We are going to spend most of our time trying to make sure that we do get a second term in office to complete our work. So that's going to be a hugely important issue in this year, in this episode. So that's going to be nice. We are, however, in a little bit of a tough spot. So, as you can see, there are quite a couple of these red things. In particular, there is a brain drain situation, which does increase our GDP by quite a bit. There is, more importantly, a black market situation, which is really costly. And there is the tax evasion over here, which does reduce our tax income. So, these things combined really lead us to a situation where our deficit really has spiraled out of control over the last two turns. You can see this is the green line is our income, so you can see the point at which we increased our income tax was very helpful. It did allow us to run a little bit of a surplus over here, but that was eroded quickly as these bad things came into effect, and since then it's been in full slide. The global economy, that blue line down here, hasn't been helping. Neither has the fact that our credit rating is kind of not that great, so we're gonna have to see how we can improve that. Now, the thing I'm very positive about is that we have now reduced our income tax again, which was a little bit of a waste maybe in political capital, but it does mean that the overall effect over here on the brain drain situation will likely put it below the stop trigger, and that means our GDP should recover next term. I'm really hoping that that doesn't lead, that in the meantime our credit rating isn't downgraded again, but we'll have to see about that. More importantly though, as I said, it's an election year, and quite a couple of people don't really like us. Liberals, as you can see, the red bar over here, don't really like us at all, due to prisoner tagging, death penalty, narcotics, intelligence services, internet censorship, I think is one of the main irks that they do have, but we do need that both to build our anti-capitalist society. That's a little bit of role-playing, but in game terms we also need both the intelligence service and so on to get rid of internet crime, which again is affecting everyone and is making a very negative opinion of everyone, for everyone of us, so we'll have to deal with that a little bit cautiously. Also street gangs and homelessness situations that are affecting large parts of our voters in a very negative way, so we'll have to deal with that a little bit. More importantly though, and somewhat unsurprisingly, capitalists really hate us due to various reasons, the income tax, rent controls, all of that. So these are people who are actually trying to murder us actively, but they also dislike quite a couple of the decisions that we took. We'll have to deal with these people a little bit. The negative effect of the brain drain going away is that the capitalist membership will probably improve. Right now it has a negative -9% modifier. That's gonna go away. That means some of the socialist people will become capitalist. In this game you're either or you're always either socialist or capitalist. So the first thing then that I want to do is try to make it a little bit less likely that there are that many capitalists around. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to labor laws over here and going to completely boost the labor laws, so the basic restriction on workers' right to strike and such, from pro-employer to all the way to pro-union. It's going to make the socialists like us a little bit more, it's going to make the trade unionists like us a little bit more, it's going to reduce the working week, which has various positive effects. It's going to, yeah, the capitalists are going to like us a little bit less even, productivity is going to go down, but most importantly, socialist membership is going to increase by 15-16 percentage points over here, so that's going to go, that's going to be really great. It's going to go from -7 now to +9 once it's finished. Going to take a little while, 8 turns, which is, well, basically 2 years, so it's not going to be finished until our election, which is a little bit of a shame, but I still think it's worthwhile to start there now. There's going to be some effect of that, so that I think is a very good way. Also wages are going to increase a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. So let's hope that that will increase our popularity a little bit. So let's see what we can do over this next turn. Here we are. Capitalists are still trying to murder us. That's not great. Also not great is the fact that the credit rating did get downgraded. Again, I should say, so that's really, really not great. On the other hand, GDP seems to be developing okay over here. Poverty seems to come down, crime seems to come down. Unemployment, still very, very high, but coming down. So that's nice to see, and I think as the GDP improves over here, unemployment will follow. And that's mainly due to the brain drain ending over here. Let's briefly look at the economic forecast. Yeah, global economy is still bad. Interest rate, the black one, there's a hike due to the downgraded credit rating, which is C now, which is really, really junk rating. But our income is actually recovering a little bit. We are spending more, but we're also collecting a little bit more money, so I'm very hopeful that soon we might be closing that gap a little bit more. Probably not in time for the election, but hopefully it's not gonna be too bad either. So yeah, anything else worthwhile over here? Security briefing, yes. Poll results. We would be probably winning the vote right now, but I still really want to make sure that this happens as we go. Let's briefly look at tax evasion. Yeah, it's coming down slowly. Black market, this should stop soon, which is going to be a huge help, because that's going to increase our monetary supplies by quite a bit. I would hope that homelessness is starting to come down, which is mainly due to unemployment coming down slowly. Street gangs, yeah, likewise you are coming down. Maybe you're going to hit the stop trigger, which would be great, because everyone dislikes that and it decreases my perception as a strong leader. So yeah, we'll probably would want to deal with that in some way. Internet crime looks like it's going to stop very soon, so that's nice to see. We also have alcohol abuse still coming down, which is great. So that does leave us with the homelessness. So the thing I want to do now is again a little bit of a populist move. We're going to ban second home ownership. It's going to cost us a little bit, mostly in terms of political capital. It's going to take a while to implement truly, but it will have an effect on homelessness. It's going to drive that down. Wealthy people don't like it, capitalists don't like it. However, the poor will like it. Poverty is going to go down, socialist membership is going to go down, and equality is going to go up. So that's very nice to see, and I would like to see the homelessness gone. Homelessness is, to be honest, I think mainly caused by the fact that private housing is so low, and private housing is low because of the rent controls, which we enacted here. You can see it right directly dropping off. So yeah, but it did get rid of another negative effect. I think it was a real estate bubble. Anyway, that does leave us with pretty much no political capital for now. So I think we'll right away have to take the next turn over here and see how things develop. Yes, still a capitalist plot. Very nice, two things have ended. So black market situation has ended, internet crime has ended, so that means our GDP is shooting up now. It's really, really developing really, truly well over here, so I very much like to see that. Crime should be coming down as well. Unemployment should be falling now that GDP is increasing. Poverty, it's still somewhat where it was before. But yeah, crime falling is really hopeful for us. It looks like the global economy might be making a little bit of a comeback. Our deficit definitely has decreased over here, so that's very nice to see. How much of our money are we by now spending actually on our debt? Yeah, 11%. It's the second. It's high. It's higher than military spending. 200 billion on debt interest. So yeah, we'll really want to make sure that our credit rating is improved a little bit. That alone would nearly get rid of our deficit. So that's very good to see. What else have we got over here? Yes, campaign speeches are available. There is a whistleblower situation. So a Secret Service contractor, Snowden, has leaked several documents that shed light on the dark side of the war on terror. Should we prosecute her and do everything we can to bring her to justice, or should we reform the Secret Service? I'm gonna go with reform the Secret Service over here, pretty much because I think we need to snooze up to the liberals a little bit more. They are much more numerous than conservatives are, and I think you are going to appreciate that situation. Yes, you are. 6%. So yeah, conservatives probably dislike it. And that's... Okay, what other effect did it have then? Intelligence services? No, that shouldn't. Oh, probably Patriots, right? Where are you? Patriots? Can't find... Oh, here. Yeah, whistleblower. You really, really dislike it. But then again, you have 50% of the population. Liberals are 60% of the population. So, probably the right call. Well, I don't know. Anyway, we increased labor law, so we hope to see that socialist membership is going to go up in the midterm. I think it might be going down before it comes up. Pretty much due to the effect of the, what was it called, brain drain? Tax evasion. This really is still one of our most critical things. It might come down. It might just come down enough to fall below the stop trigger. But I don't think there's anything else that we can do. I mean, this is implemented as much as it gets. So we could drop it off a little bit further, but I'm very, very reluctant to do so simply because it costs us political capital, and it is one of the... Just dropping it to by 5 percentage points, it would really cost us about 100 billion US dollar. So yeah, I don't think we really can afford it. Alcohol abuse seems to be stabilizing, not that great still. Street gangs, that might go away. Homelessness is starting to fall, so yeah, that's good to see as well. What else can we do then? I think with only 2 quarters, so half a year left to address some of our voters' concerns, I think there are some things that we do want to do. So, firstly over here, sorry about the background noise, that's the dog. Right, so I think I want to have a look at legal aid. That's maxed out, so that's great. I want to also have a look at, where is it? Community policing? No. Jury trial. Jury trial is something that liberals consistently like, and that really nobody is against. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but let's get them to be a little bit more happy at the cost of 8 political capital and a couple of billion, just 2 billion. So yeah, let's do that just to make them happy, and I think that's going to be alright. We should also look a little bit at our electioneering over here. So we have a little bit more members than our opposite, than our counterparty. We have a little bit more activists, so that's good to see. These things will boost us. We haven't really drawn up a manifesto yet. We haven't made any speech. Fundraising. We are lagging behind our enemy a little bit. Sorry, our opponent, I should say. Which is mostly not so much due to donors, but due to members. So their members seem to be spending much more than ours, which is not a surprise. I mean, we are really against capitalists, so I would venture the guess that the capitalists dislike us. Generosity over here seems to be pretty okay, so not much that we can do over here. There is a little bit of an issue over here, though, in the perception of us. So I want to make a couple of media stunts over here. Let's do something to get seen as a little bit more trustworthy. So there are always 4 options that you can choose for 4, 5 or 3 political capital. To be honest, I think this one is always the best. Spending 25% more political capital on a tiny increase in chance is not a very good choice. On the other hand, spending a third more political capital, so 4 instead of 3, for a 25% increase in the success chance sounds very good to me, so let's release our tax returns. And that did indeed put us on a little bit on the trustworthy side, so that's very good to see. I think it also makes sense to be seen as compassionate, since that is pretty much our platform. And again, similar story here, I think this is the best choice. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. Well, this one might not be too bad. Let's compare these things, right? So, spending a 6 more chance would put us... So the success chance over here is still a little bit better. But on the other hand, the impact on perceptions is still somewhat higher over here. Over here, so maybe it's a little bit more worthwhile to do this. Then again, I don't feel I can risk it. How about this one over here, though? This is nearly twice the cost. The impact is a little bit higher. Let's visit an orphanage. Here we go. Very good. So another positive effect. Do you want to do strong leader? So all of these cost pretty much the same. Oh, there's another one over here. Success chance is always pretty high actually. Look at that. Yeah. This one might be the best. Let's briefly look at whether there's any policy that we want to include before we spend any more political capital. So there is one that I would like to introduce. I would like to hike up actually the the car taxes. Sorry, not car taxes, actually fuel taxes, petrol taxes. But that is very, very expensive. 36 political capital. We are earning 28 per turn, so it would take us 8 to pay for that. Which we don't have now. There is still... We could spend 5 though, and still have enough capital for next turn. We can also make a speech over here. And I think there might be some good speeches over here. We might want to address the poor. Membership 25%. Well, they'll probably like us anyway. Socialists, you are pretty happy anyway. Retired, trade unionists. Membership 39%. Yeah, I think this is a very good one. So trade unionists are much 12. That would not allow us to increase taxes next turn. Do they have different? Oh, okay. So I can. Oh, I didn't know that. I can select more than one of these. So I think it would be good to appeal to the trade unionists. They're more numerous. The wealthy, I don't really like to. Self-employed again. Yeah, I think there's a good case to be made. Commuters, how many of you are there? 22%. That's not that many. I would like to appeal to the liberals, but I don't think I want to do that at the expense of making conservatives like us very, very much less. So no, I don't think that's appropriate. So state employees, trade unionists, I think we can go for the poor. I mean, you are relatively happy, but I think it's very consistent with our platform. So yeah, I think that's all right. I don't think I want to decrease the happiness of the capitalists even further, simply because they might murder me. So I don't think that's a very good choice. We don't want to pander to the wealthy, certainly. The commuters, no, let's not go there. Let's give a speech like this. So yeah, gonna make a couple of sound bites over here. Polling with a couple of people. Yeah, that's not such a great positive effect of this soundbite over here. Well, this one seems to be doing fine. So, yeah. Everyone likes us a little bit more self-employed, less wealthy, less so. But all in all, I think we are fine. So, let's take the next turn. Which I think is the final one before the elections. Yes, I know about the... God damn it! Right, so I thought this would not be a possibility. So parents are gonna hate us, health is gonna go down because we have developed a doctor strike. Doctor strike is influenced by labor laws pretty much over here, which I think is it. There's not that much more that we can do actually to stop this, except for stopping the labor laws, which I don't think I want to do. So we might have to live with this actually, but yeah. On the other hand, our credit rating gets upgraded. Capitalists do like that. We do win an aerospace contract, so GDP is going to go up, unemployment is going to go down. That's very, very lovely. Tanking in unemployment actually over here. GDP booming actually. Crime going down. Poverty going down. Very nice. Health, yeah, you're going to go down, but I think this is a strong level. as is. So let's see about the economic forecast. We have a very, very slight deficit now, and you know, it's not due to the global economy. Global economy is still doing very, very badly, but our economy has been developing great over the last couple of turns, so that's very nice to see. Of course, we do still have a deficit, so we'll need to deal with that. Our debt is still increasing, and debt interest is still a very high item on our spending list, but it was overtaken by military spending again, so that's at least nice to see. Right, I'm a little bit afraid that we can't do that much more for our economy though. I certainly do hope that we will get rid of this bit over here. 2%, it might just be enough. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what the doggy is doing in the background. Seems to have found some toy. Right, so last turn I think. One more turn till the next election. Alcohol abuse, it might stop. That alone would put us out of the deficit. Street gangs, it's gonna stop. That's very nice to see. Homelessness is going to stop. Very, very lovely. Doctor strike, yeah, something that we, I think, simply have to live with. Our popularity is actually okay. So, anything else that we might want to do? Police force. Well, really, there isn't much that I can do in terms of the doctor strike. The only thing that I can think of as being valid over here is to increase state healthcare spending by a lot. The negative effect of that is, well, some people will like it, especially actually my focus groups are going to like it very, very much. State employees, all of these, unemployment is going to go down massively, so all of these things are very good. The negative effect is that private healthcare is going to go down by a ton. Also, innovation is going to go down, which is going to have an impact on our economy, so that's not very great. And more importantly, it would cost enormous amounts of money. Just 100 billion now, 350 billion then, so a difference of about, well, 230, 40 billion. Yeah, we simply can't afford that for now. So I think we simply have to live with the effects of the doctor strike over here. Even though parents will really, really strongly dislike us for that, so yeah. But it's, well, it's simply something that we do have to live with. So yeah, there's that. I really, really hope to get rid of the tax evasion. It would make our lives so much easier. Anyway, we can't do that now. So what I really want to do then is save up a little bit of political capital over here to address the petrol thing over here. It would of course anger motorists, but motorists are somewhat neutral for us right now, and it would also decrease their percent of population, so I'm not actually too fussed about that. So we might actually want to... Sorry, I'll just have to take away the toys from the doggy, otherwise it's going to eat things that it shouldn't be really eating. Right, sorry about that. So, where was I? I think we are trying to appease to the... or trying to find policies that do appeal to our population. Anything really that would help us. Might want to legalize prostitution. Needle exchange program I think would be worthwhile in terms of getting liberals to like us a little bit more. Wiretapping of course would not be. Well, art subsidies would help to win over a couple of liberals, but it would also increase their number, and I really don't want to do that. The doggy has brought up another one of these. Thank you, don't do that. Sit. Sit. Well done. Okay, so what would liberals want? I'm struggling a little bit to see anything that would be hugely beneficial for them, so I don't think that's very worthwhile. Over here there's nothing in particular that would be super popular. Well, import tariffs would be, but then again they would wreck our economy. Child benefits, of course, are nice, but they're also hugely expensive. State housing, likewise, would certainly get rid of the negative effects of the homelessness. So yeah, we'd have to see with that. Consumer rights. I'm not actually sure whether that is something that would be favored by liberals. Maternity leave. Tax shelters, we don't want to do that. We are at the end trying to make it communist, and that doesn't seem to conform to that goal, so yeah, no. The dog seems to continue to find these things, sorry. Right, it's not going to go away anymore. So, transport. No, I don't think anything worthwhile over here. Public libraries, free eye schools, these things are certainly all very beneficial, and they don't cost a ton. So I'm a little bit tempted to do that. We might want to do the free eye tests. I think you know what, let's do this. It should give us a little bit of a health boost, retired people, poor earnings, so a lot of people will like that more. Except of course for the people who are not going to vote for us anyway. So yeah, I think... Stop. Sit. Sit. Right. Sorry. I'm gonna have to play with it in a little while. Right. So people will like that, and all in all, it's gonna give us a little bit of health boost, and it's not that expensive. So yeah, I think that's worthwhile, and it's gonna counter a little bit of the effect on health of these effects. We should try to make a little bit, at least make parents a little bit more happy. Maternity leave would be doing that, but on the other hand it would have negative effects on our business, and they are sort of strained as is, so I don't think that's too worthwhile. Free school meals would be nice, but for now I think that's fine. Climate Adaptation Fund, we don't have the money right now, but we should be trying to look at that soon. Free Youth Politics Council is actually something that is very nice. It's gonna give us a little bit of a boost with the young, so let's just buy them off a little bit over there, and let's make sure that... Do we want to do any manifesto? So we can make pledges that people would maybe like. Cut any of these. Cut poverty would be, of course, a certainly interesting goal, and I think we do have to do that anyway. Let's briefly check at the poverty level over here. 25%. That's pretty low, to be honest. And what's driving poverty right now? Sales tax? Honestly, it's not that high. Manifesto. What else could we do? Gated communities. So gated communities are something that feels very at odds with our policy. But the good thing about this, the single good thing about this, is it would drive down liberalism values. It also drives down equality, but we are fairly good on that anyway. Liberals dislike that even further, but on the other hand, it would drive down their numbers, and that wouldn't be too bad, would it? Because still, they kind of hate us. The wealthy, I think they do also sort of hate us, but it would be nice if we were to do a little bit in favor of them. I really want to get rid of that. Yeah, and that is falling away as we speak. So, I don't think we need another campaign speech. They are too expensive. Fundraising. We are behind our enemy. I don't want to cut that. I don't want to... I could make the pledge to raise this. GDP I don't think is realistic to increase that much, so we'll have to look for that. Let's do a last media stunt then on Tough Man over here. We could visit army barracks. Let's do something with a fairly high chance of success. You know, either of those really. I think I'm gonna drive a tank. And it backflipped, so that's not great. So, do you want to counterbalance that then? Make another meteor stunt on being very trustworthy. Could backfire as well. It would leave us just with enough political capital to implement some of the new taxes that we want. But honestly, I don't think that's that useful. Let's make a pledge to raise gated communities. Conservatives and wealthy people do like that a little bit more. So we should try to make that next turn. So we do have a little bit of political capital left, and I think it's a very nice place to... No, I'm not going to put in a cut. I'm going to take the election result this time, do I? Here we go. It's a little bit exciting. I am hopeful. I'm hopeful. So our activist turnout is a little bit higher. We'll have to see about this. We'll have to see about these things. Let's start the count. And it does look like I'm collecting a lot more votes than the opposition, so that certainly very, very much feels nice. Opposition turnout is actually higher. Spending impact is lower. Our ministers aren't great. But, yeah, they are really outspending us. But, all in all, let's see who voted for us. So, Socialists, of course, voted for us by a huge share. Even the self-employed and even the capitalists voted, on average, somewhat for us. So, I'm very happy about that. Let's have a brief look at the changes in the most important parameters since we took office. So crime is down, education is up, poverty and equality. Poverty is down, equality is up. So that's of course very nice. Environment is doing much better. Health is doing a little bit worse. Technology, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Working week decreasing, car usage decreasing by a lot. Unemployment down. Yeah, very much a lot of things are going in very good direction. Except for high earnings. Tourism is going down a little bit. Alcohol consumption has decreased by a lot. Average temperature is increasing, so we'll have to deal with that at some point. And we'll also have to keep an eye on technology. On the other hand, we are funding the software. And I think at some point the software patents over here should go away. So yeah, that's very nice to see. And there's still a capitalist plot, but things are looking good as we start our new term. GDP is up, health is not that bad, education is okay, unemployment is coming down further, there's pretty much no crime at all, and poverty is going down, so street gangs are gone, homelessness is gone, so that's extremely nice to see. And we are actually running a little bit of a surplus, so that's very, very lovely to see. So, with that, I think we can pull into the second term next time in a very good fashion, and maybe get to the Socialist Utopia achievement, along with maybe some others. But for now, I'm very, very happy that we started out on a very tough episode, actually. And we got to something that feels a little bit better. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.